Jason Falinski is a former Liberal Party MP and the former state president. G'day, Jason.
Hey, Quentin, how are you?
I'm good. You must be frustrated.
Oh, of course. Mate, it's a permanent state of being, I think.
Were you expecting it to be as bad as it was?
Yes, I was.
Why?
I mean, because, in effect, the electorate was, am I allowed to say pissed off on air, or should
just
I?
said it. That's fine.
No, okay, fine. The electorate was pissed off, frankly, that Susan left. The other half were pissed off that they were in a by-election. They wrap around that the general level of frustration and resentment that they have about falling living standards, lack of responsiveness from government, lack of services in their area, and that they knew that their vote wasn't going to change the government and wasn't meaningless, but they gave it meaning by sending as big a message as they possibly could by voting for One Nation. And the more people from the cities and the elites said, oh, One Nation are racist, and those sorts of arguments that you heard commonly throughout the by-election, the more they wanted to vote for them, just to poke people in the eye.
If this was just a general election, if Farrer was up for grabs like every other seat across the country, what do you think the Liberals would have held it?
I don't. Well, the answer is that's a hypothetical. I don't know, but I do think that the result would have been much different, yes.
So going into the future, and Barnaby Joyce has now said that Western Sydney is going to be targeted. Do you think the Liberals can hang on to seats in Western Sydney?
Well, we don't have any seats in Western Sydney.
Lindsay.
So...
You got Lindsay.
Yeah, we've got Lindsay, and arguably we've got Alex Hawke's seat as well. Mitchell is in Western Sydney. But look, the overwhelming majority of seats in Western Sydney are held by the Labor Party or by Di Lee. Yeah, look, I mean, One Nation, I think the message that One Nation has at the moment is basically, you know that your living standards are going backwards, and that's not a feeling, that's an actual fact. Australia has been in a per capita recession basically since Anthony Albanese got elected. You know that government services and programs are being massively over-politicised by a government that's more interested in looking after its mates than it is at looking after people like you. I mean, that's a very powerful message, not just in Western Sydney, but throughout Australia.
There's been lots of talk today about whether there'll be, in the future, some sort of coalition between the Liberals, the Nationals and One Nation. Do you think that could happen? Well,
I think that, look, yes is the answer. I think a lot would need to change. And I think that if One Nation can evolve, as Reform has in the UK, from being a party of where you go to express your frustrations and resentments, to a party that wants to bring about accountable government that works for all people in Australia, then I think the Liberal Party would have no problem forming a coalition with it.
Because Tim Wilson today, the Shadow Treasurer, said never, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, and also on Sunday he said, look, you'd have to see what the Australian people want. I mean, it's a complex argument in a democracy. If a if a majority of Australians or a large portion of Australians vote for One Nation, then politicians or elected leaders have to respond to that. They have to be responsive to the will of the people. And that's just a fact. And look, what you're seeing throughout the Western world at the moment, in Germany over the weekend, AfD, which is a party on the extremes of the right wing, is now the most popular party in Germany. This level of resentment is happening because the political class for too long has taken money from people to give to their mates and their friends, and people are awake to it and they're sick of the sophistry. And you're seeing that in this budget right now. So, the government's saying we're going to get rid of we're going to increase capital gains tax, we're going to increase rents by getting rid of negative gearing concessions, but we'll leave them for our mates in industry super. And then they try and say, oh, this is about intergenerational equity. It is the opposite of intergenerational equity. It will remove the very ladders of opportunity that previous generations have enjoyed. And then you have Katie Gallagher on the weekend on Mother's Day basically saying, hey, listen, as soon as we can take your child off you and get them into a childcare centre away from their parents, the better it is for the child. And I have to say to you right here and now, the level of angst, of anger, of just outrage at that statement is I haven't seen it, and it's like from ordinary people, not people heavily involved in the political system.
Exactly, and this is the problem for the Liberals, Jason. The Liberals haven't been prosecuting the case against the Albanese government. It's not like suddenly over the weekend they've started to make the wrong calls, whether it's on tax issues, whether it's on childcare or immigration. Jason, your side of politics has a huge job in front of it. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Jason Falinski,